As before with Inazuma, Sumeru, and Fontaine, it's once again time to look at the teaser for Genshin's upcoming country, this time being Natlan, the land of fire and war. I already made a video about my predictions / speculations for Natlan at the beginning of the year, so watch that if you're looking for something more in-depth. This is just going to be my unscripted comments about this new teaser since we all know I have nothing else to make videos about. So the first thing I noticed when I was watching this is some of the instruments are Australian, which is interesting because Natlan is supposed to be based on Mesoamerica and Africa, and I guess now they're throwing Australia in there too. I don't know how I feel about that. We all know how I feel about the mixing of real-life cultures in this game, but, I mean, it's Hoyoverse. I'm not that surprised by it. And I'm sure, Australian people, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I feel like Australian people might enjoy the representation. I feel like I don't see a lot of Australian characters in anything, so. This big city right here is the same city as at the end of the first teaser with all the animals. This looks to be a large city, obviously, with the big gates at the front and stuff. This could be the capital of Natlan, but it looks a little bit small for that, honestly. With every new country, to me, it seems like the capital cities get bigger and bigger. So after the Court of Fontaine, the capital city of Natlan is going to have to be pretty huge. This might be a secondary big city, like maybe something like Port Ormos. Also, I like this fire in the tower in the middle of the town. I don't know if that's actually fire, but I'm assuming it is because, it's Natlan, it's the fire country. And while we're here, we have yet another little girl character. I think it's kind of crazy that every young child character is a little girl for some reason. Like, how come there's no little boys in the world of Teyvat? In my last video about my Natlan predictions, I said that I think that there are probably very few humans left alive in the country, and that seems to maybe be accurate since this girl has animal ears. I can't tell what animal she's supposed to be or anything, maybe a bear or like some kind of mole. She has a mining motif. Also, you can see her vision on her arm, it's Geo. Unsurprisingly, she's yellow and she has a little mining car. Of course, her vision is Geo. Very original, as usual. I don't know if it's just me, but this little girl's car animations, just the shape of it and the way that it moves, reminds me of Klee's roller coaster from the Valorium Mirage. So I don't know if they're reusing assets from that or what, but I just found that interesting and worth mentioning. I didn't even notice this the first time I was watching it and taking notes. There's what appears to be some sort of large animal in the background of this, maybe like a giraffe or something. I love when Genshin adds animals to the environment of the map. Like, I love the alligators in Sumeru, I love the tigers, I like the kitsune in Inazuma, and so I think just getting more of those kinds of things is always cute, it's always fun. So I hope I'm right about this thing being a big giraffe that just walks around and hangs out. This is something not only about the enemies' outfits, but about one of the characters we're about to see later in the teaser. Is it just me, or have their outfits become a lot more modern? This looks like modern streetwear to me. Genshin is a game where it's supposed to be based on historical periods in the real world, so you would assume that their outfits wouldn't look like this, but we're 4 years into Genshin at this point. Of course, their design themes are going to change. In the background of these shots, we see some murals on all the mountains around, and they look really nice and colorful. I like that. This blue one clearly seems to be shaped like the ocean with waves and such. This pink one over here, it looks like letters, although I can't necessarily tell what they are. It might be supposed to be fire with the way that it's sticking up, or maybe mountains or something. I don't know. I'm thinking with all the different colors, it might be that these markings are based on the different elements, or maybe they represent different tribes or something in this area. So you can see a structure on the map right here. It looks too small and too fancy to be a town. It looks more like a palace or maybe a temple of some kind to me. Also, you can see these little white hills on the map, which reminds me of bones that we've seen in other places of the map, like Oribashi's corpse or Elena's in Fontaine. I'm assuming that this area over here is going to be the skeletal remains of some other big deity or monster that was killed maybe by the current Pyro Archon or the old one, who knows. You can also see this really interesting transition between environments, so it looks like Natlan is going to have its own desert. The desert of Natlan right now looks a lot smaller than the desert of Sumeru, which is a big relief for people who didn't like the desert of Sumeru. I actually liked the desert at first, so I'm not opposed to more desert, and I'm hoping it will be different in Natlan, and I'm sure it will be. Just looking at it right now, I didn't write this down in my notes or anything, but you can see so many entrances to caves and stuff on this map. There's going to be a lot of underground stuff. It seems like with every new country, they're adding more and more underground things. It's because we're working our way up to Conria, where it's all going to be underground. So there's another little structure right here, which is a lot more perplexing to me than the one from before. This one is even smaller, so it's definitely not a town at all. But it doesn't look as fancy or deliberate as the other one, so I don't think it's a temple or castle or anything. It's in this tiny valley with walkways going in 3 out of 4 directions into the surrounding mountains, which makes me think that it might be a mine of some kind. That little girl from before was driving around on a drill that you'd use for mining. Maybe she hangs out around here. Alternatively, Natlan is based on Mesoamerica partially, so these stairs kind of reminded me of Aztec and Mayan pyramids. Maybe it's going to be one of those. This next new character also has animal ears, notably. She also has an animal motif. Later we see her surfing on a shark, like standing on its back, which is really cute. In the background of this shot, we see what appears to be a boat, which is interesting. It doesn't look run down or broken like, what's the one boat in Inazuma? Seirai Maru, I think is what it's called. It doesn't look run down or broken like a shipwreck from a long time ago. It might just be a boat that people are actively using. Like maybe this girl fishing in front of it knows something about that, or she works on this boat, or maybe it is her boat. Also, I mean, there's definitely no way that this blue bunny-eared girl isn't gonna have a hydro vision. She's fishing and she's blue. Of course she's gonna be hydro. Where to begin with this character? I mean this man, zero disrespect, but he looks like a 2013 Minecraft cool gamer guy skin that I would see on Skindex. I don't see anything blatantly non-human about him, so I guess he's human number 1 of Natlan, potentially the only one. But also there is a chance that he could not be human. We don't know. This is the guy I was mentioning before. I think his outfit is really, really modern, and it doesn't feel like it fits into the world of Genshin at all to me. This is a very iffy outfit choice for me. That said, I do like the colors of it. I think it's fun. I like his hair. Okay, so the bunny girl surfing on the shark thing looks awesome. It looks like such a fun way to get around. It reminds me of Mona and Ayaka's unique sprints, or Yelan's E, where it's kind of just this fun way to get around the world that's more interesting than just sprinting. I always appreciate that kind of thing. I think it makes playing as a character, and more importantly, maining them, a lot more fun. It makes you feel inclined to stick with them as your main person that you run around the world as. I wouldn't know. I main Zhongli. So this floating green thing that Mr. Minecraft is interacting with reminds me of the stars from Sumeru that helped you fly around faster, but I can't tell if these are part of the map or if they're from his kit. I hope that they're like the stars from Sumeru, because at this point in Genshin, I'm so spoiled that I refuse to do anything simple. I shouldn't have to walk around. Like, I'm AR60, I've earned a shortcut. Also, call me crazy, but his animations are so similar to Xiao's. I don't know enough about animation to tell if that is the same thing or if it's a recycled animation or what, but I swear the first time I saw this, I thought I was looking at Xiao. And then the back of the bunny girl's outfit has these 2 flaps that look like Kokomi's headpiece. Like, am I just, like, reaching for nothing here, or does it really seem like they are reusing things and expecting people not to notice? Maybe I'm just remembering old stuff at the same time as looking at the new things, so it just seems like they're reusing stuff to me, but I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on that. I saw a lot of comments on this teaser saying that Natlan looks too colorful and fun to be a nation of literal endless war, but they're forgetting that Hoyoverse likes to release maps in stages, not all at once. I'm sure we'll be seeing the cute fun stuff like this in 5.0, and then we'll be getting regions like the Mare Javari in 5.1 or 5.2. I don't really have much to say about this teaser because there just wasn't a lot to it. I mean, it's literally only over 1 minute. But I am excited that it seems like I was right about Natlan being mostly non-human people. I think that's a really fun concept, and I hope they stick to that. While I have you here, go watch my last video. I put a lot of work into it, and it didn't do as well as I would have liked it to. Also, subscribe to my second channel. I have some stuff I'm working on over there. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.